Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, I'm Christina One, and I am back with another video. Rate, comment, subscribe, and since you're already subscribed to my channel, you might as well hit that notification bell so you'll know when my next video or live stream goes down. I'm gonna give you guys my review on The Strangers. I watched The Strangers yesterday at IMAX Theater. Quick shout out to IMAX Theater. This is a brand new theater at my location. I really do love how the theater is set up. The reclining seats, the whole nine. Very beautiful theater. But with that being said, let's get into The Strangers. Now, this is supposed to be a sequel to the original Strangers, okay? And this is supposed to be a horror flick. And basically, the premise of this is a group of strangers terrorizing, rural or local neighborhoods, things of that nature. Now, I'm gonna let you know before we go any further. Spoiler alert, I will be talking about this whole movie from top to bottom. So if you have not seen The Strangers, you need to click off of this video immediately. I mean immediately. All right? Now, if you're still in here, let's get into it. Now, basically, this movie had, in my opinion, a lot of forgettable characters, okay? The parents, the mother and the father, they rarely mention their name throughout the movie. And I guess the main attraction, the star of this movie is Izzy. Now, Izzy, she's supposed to be this girl who's a rebel, who got into a lot of trouble and who has already graduated and just going through things. So the parents thought it was a great idea to let Izzy, whatever her name is, relocate from their residence to their grandparents, okay? And let the grandparents, take care of her. The mother thinking new scenery may change her attitude. Now, the parents, to me, it seemed like to me throughout the whole movie, like they just woke up one morning and they got these kids at their doorstep, okay? The parents really haven't established a relationship with the daughter, because the daughter was the first child, and the son they have no problems with, and he is going to graduate next year. And the son name is Paul, Logan, Sean, Peter, Griff, whatever his name is, Jermaine, Jerome. Wait a minute. Those are black names. So, of course, he wouldn't be named after someone black, but you get my picture. Forgettable characters, okay? The characters were never established throughout the whole movie. Now, the son is doing great in school, going to go to college. Hooray, hooray. He'll be going to college a year later. And the parents felt like, let's go ahead and, let the daughter live with the grandparents. And then we'll just have the only people that will be in the house for 1 year is the son. He's getting ready to graduate. And we can, have the house to ourselves. It seemed to me like the parents really had no chemistry or no relationship with the daughter. And it seemed like they favored the son more than the daughter, because the son is going to college and things of that nature, and they never had problems with him, okay? So they the family drives to this mobile home outlet to meet up with the grandparents and to drop the daughter off. And to me, I thought it was weird because, okay, it's in the middle of the night. It had to been like 12, 1 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. And they're driving to the grandparents' house. Okay, so that's the first red flag. Normally, in a situation like this, parents normally want to take the kid, if they have to take their son or daughter somewhere to spend a night or whatever, to drop them off, normally it's a situation where it's in the day, and you get to talk to the individual that's going to be watching your kid, okay? And they're not kids; they're really young adults, okay? And so I thought that was kind of weird. And all the mom did was just left a message on the answering machine, okay? And in the beginning of the movie, she's trying to talk to her daughter to explain why they came up to this decision, and it seemed like it was like talking to like they were strangers, okay? She didn't understand how to interact with her own daughter. You would think she would have had this nailed down and figured out. The daughter has to be at least 19 years old. I'm assuming 2021, and by this time you still don't know how to talk to your daughter, okay? But we have heard of these stories before in real life, in society, okay? So they drive off, and they go to this convenience store. I'm assuming the grandparents, because the grandparents own this store. And once again, like I said in the beginning of my video, forgettable characters. None of these characters had backgrounds. None of these characters were established. None of these characters were, characters that you want to follow through the progression of the movie. They're forgettable characters, okay? They had no identity, no soul, all right? So she goes into this convenience store. I'm assuming the grandparents own this convenience store. The store is dark, but it was unlocked. That's the second red flag. Not from a standpoint as a parent, but a human being, okay? You're gonna nobody said anything about driving them that late at night. No one threw a red flag about that, and no one's not talking about, well, how come the store is pitch black dark but it's unlocked, and the only thing there that you thought that they were there was a note. They left you a note, okay? The third red flag, okay? You haven't spoken to the grandparents in a while now, okay? Normally parents will interact with whoever's going to be watching their children or their teenagers, and in this particular case, young adults, okay? So right off the bat, I got the establishment that the mother just wanted to just get her out of her house, okay? So maybe that's a storyline that they were playing along through the movie, but they just didn't discuss it or talk about it, okay? Forgettable story. Forgettable characters, and the storyline was semi-weak. It just didn't make a lot of sense, okay? But once again, it's a movie, okay? So from there on, they're going, they left a note saying, hey, we're not here. You guys got the trailer, got trailer 13, okay? Here's the key, all right? Right off the bat, you would think that, well, what's wrong with staying with the grandparents in their trailer? Why do we have to have our own trailer? All right. And they went to the trailer. Now the father and the mother is trying to talk to the daughter, which they should have been doing that in the ride as well as in the beginning of the movie. And now you want to talk to her when you already got her there. Now it's too late now to talk about why they came to this decision. Of course she's gonna be mad, okay? So they tried to play card games, and the father suggested that, hey, why don't we just put all our phones up away and have one night where we don't be on our smartphones, okay? Which I thought that was, cute, okay? I didn't understand why everybody had to put their phones on the table, okay? which that leads into further on into the story. The girl runs away from the family, and the mother, instead of her going out and talking to her, or letting her husband try for a second time to establish some type of communication, they choose the son. Okay, so the son goes out, tries to talk to her, and I guess they're making their way back. They saw an abandoned trailer. It was dark. Okay, and they figured, between the both of them, hey, let's just go in and see what's going on. Okay, now that didn't make a lot of sense to me. All right, I can understand if they heard some weird sounds of someone that needed help, or just weird sounds in general, where, okay, now let's put our detective hat on and figure out what's going on in this trailer. The trailer, the door was open, it's dark. It just didn't add up. It just wouldn't. Typical teenagers would not do that. Okay, that's all I'm saying. All right. So they go into this trailer and they find a dead body. All right. So they run back to their parents, but they got lost, and that's when they finally make it to the parents. They tell the parents, and the father thought it was a good idea. No. Father tried to find them, because they got alerted by this girl who kept knocking on their door. And they thought it was weird. So they say, okay, and now they're saying, okay, let's call the police, get the hell out of here. Now the antennas start ringing with the parents. Okay, now, 2 + 2 is not adding up in this situation. Let's get the hell out of here. All right. You would think at the convenience store that would have been established, but no. They waited until they got to this trailer home and got situated, and now the antennas start alerting them. The spider sense start tingling. Okay, so the father runs out to try to find them. Okay, and the father finds them, and the father thought it would be a great idea, instead of all of us going to the mother and let's get our asses out of here. He thought it would be a great idea to split up. Okay, do you know your way back to the trailer? You go to the trailer, tell your mom, me and the son, we're going to have father time, and we're just gonna go see if there is a real body there. Okay, that made no sense in the movie, made no sense in the storyline. It just didn't add up. It just didn't make no sense. Okay, they didn't try to talk about it, to try to put the storylines together, whatever. All right, so they they split up. The girl Izzy, who was lost in the beginning when they were trying to find their way back to the trailer, all of a sudden she knows her way. She made it to the mom, told the mom the situation. Mom said, okay, let's dial 911. Let's call some police in here. When they got to the table where the phones were, all the phones were destroyed. Okay, which, remember what I said in the beginning of the video? I said, that still don't make any sense. I mean, why would you put all your phones together? Because typical teenagers would not do that. Now, a teenager would get off their phone and put it in their pocket, okay? But, these phones look like Galaxy 8s, iPhone 8s, it looks like the top-notch smartphones out there. They're not El Cheapos, okay? So one would assume that, teenagers, they like to be glued to their equipment, and I just don't see a scenario where a teenager would just leave their phone in the middle of the table and just go. Okay, so that didn't make any sense. Okay, so all the phones were damaged. Okay, and that's when the mom and the daughter met up with the crazy girl in the mask, the blonde-headed girl. Okay, and it was the same girl that kept knocking on their door. Okay, even though the movie didn't even establish that. Okay, the movie didn't even establish. You had to figure that out on your own. All right. So there's a fight ensues. Mom got killed, but she saved her daughter. Okay, daughter makes her way, finds her brother and the father, and a fight ensues there. I'm just gonna cut this video off short because I don't want to keep going. I don't want to tell the whole movie, and I just don't want to make this video any longer. To me, from that there on, it was a slippery slope. A lot of storylines were not adding up. The characters were even more forgettable. I like the visual aspects of it. I like the camera angles, things of that nature. The writing was off a little bit because you can clearly tell they had to create shortcuts for this movie. So they cut out a lot of things. A lot of things were left on the editing floor. That's a possibility, but it would have been better if they would have kept those elements and try to cut somewhere else. And I understand, movies have budgets and things of that nature, but you can clearly tell they cut out a lot of stuff to make this movie even shorter. And by doing that, you're not establishing an identity for these characters or the masked characters of the strangers. I mean, you had to literally sit there and assume what they meant in a particular scene. Okay, so I wouldn't say the writing was horrible, but I feel like there was certain stuff left out. Okay, the characters were definitely forgettable. After 10 minutes into the movie, you literally forgot the characters' names. You forgot the purpose of why having these characters here. As far as it being a horror movie, I wouldn't even label it a horror movie. It was a scare movie. There was like certain scenes in the movie where certain, you can hear somebody knocking on the door real hard. Bumping, something bumping or falling on the floor, things of that nature. And every villain has their kill moment. Okay, their claim of fame when they kill their victim. The young girl with the blonde hair that killed the mother, that was the best kill out of the whole movie to me. The guy with the guy that you see right there in your video, his kill moment when the father was trying to drive around finding the girl, and all of a sudden, a mailbox with the pole attached to it just flies out of the night and just happens to just go through the car window and happens to strike the father in the in the ribs. Okay, making it impossible for the son as well as the father to pull the mail post out because he was going through pain trying to pull the thing out. So the son runs to find help, promised the father that, hey, when I get help, we're gonna come get you. That's a classic thing in every horror movie. I'm gonna come save you. I'm gonna come find you. Well, I'm gonna get the proper authorities. We're gonna save you. That person's dead. He even knew he was dead. Okay, so the son runs off, and like 30 seconds later, the guy with the bag over his head was standing next to the car, and then he got into the car. He cuts the radio on, some cheesy pop song, and he blasts it up, and he takes this an icebreaker pen, and you would think that he's going to do something. He's going to make this death painful and slow. Instead, he just ends him real quick. It was basically a mercy death. Okay, he was already getting ready to die anyway from his injuries with the mail post, and the guy with the bag over his head just gave him a mercy death. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, you would think he was going to do something gruesome, something slow, something painful, even have him crying more. I mean, that climax, I felt like they missed the boat. They missed a great opportunity with that climax right there. The mother, she also had a mask, and she was chasing after the son. And I thought when she was running after him, I thought it was somebody else in the mask. Because there's no one where somebody's just going to allow, just to run up on somebody. It wasn't even surprising him. He saw her like a mile away. And he hits her with a golf club. She falls to the ground and he stabs her. I'm thinking, okay, he's going to pull the mask off. It's somebody else. He didn't get an opportunity to pull the mask off. But it is the mother of the strangers, the group of strangers, okay? And the father comes with the axe and kills him in the pool. And, he thought he kills him in the pool. And he leaves. And the sister, who was hiding underneath a trailer, followed her brother and pulls the brother out of the pool. And, gets him to safety, and then she has her fight with the guy with the bag over his head, and they had a climax scene in the street. She's trying to drive away. He wrecks her car, and gasoline is all over on the street. She pulls out her lighter and lights the thing up. You're thinking he's dead, okay? But he's not dead. All right. He drives the car while it's burning, and they made that was a Superman moment for this particular person. He follows her on the bridge, and he gets out the car. He gets ready to kill her with the axe, and he just drops to the ground. She immediately gets up, and there happens to be somebody else dropping their kid off in the middle of the night, okay? And she flags him down and say, hey, help me, such and such going on. And the lady gets out the car. She looks at her, and then immediately she starts screaming and run back into her car. The girl didn't know, Izzy, whatever her name, didn't know why she getting back in her car to speed off. Comes around, she turns around, it's the guy with the bag with the axe. She jumps in the car, the back of the truck. They drive off, but the guy with the axe gets a hold of the truck, pulls himself up, and she takes a shovel, hits him in the face. He falls to the ground, and everybody assumes he dies. Okay, so the next scene, they're in the hospital. It's Izzy and her brother. And they're in the hospital, and they thinking everything is fine. And then you hear that toy box crank up, and the lights turned off. And I guess that's going to be the sequel to this movie. And it fades to black. Okay. What I thought about, I didn't like this movie. I didn't see the first movie, but a lot of people at the theater said, if you watch the first movie, it will make a lot more sense to you pertaining to this movie. And to me, I went home, I watched the first movie. I like the first movie better than, and people always say this, the original is always better than the sequel. But it's not the fact that this movie wasn't better than the first movie, which it's not. It was a lot of dialogue that didn't make a lot of sense. A lot of stuff wasn't connecting. The writing was poor at best. Okay, forgettable characters. you didn't care about none of these characters because none of these characters really didn't necessarily have something that you like about them or disliked about them. I mean, they were, forgettable characters, okay? After 5 or 10 minutes in the movie, you forget about these characters real fast and real quick. Clearly you can tell that they had to cut a lot of things out of the movie to shorten the movie. I'm pretty sure they was on deadlines and budgets and things of that nature. But I have to rate the movie as it is. Now, I'm pretty sure when it comes out on Blu-ray, all those scenes that they took out of the movie to make the movie shorter, those scenes will be added to the Blu-ray, okay? They're going to have scenes that they didn't show in the movie, okay? So that's a plus if you are a Blu-ray collector, okay? But that's like, what, a year from now, 2 years from now, tops most. I didn't like this movie. This movie, you need to stay away from this movie. This movie is not that good. There are plenty other movies that you can watch right now and get your best, well, as far as money goes. I mean, I spent like $17. I took someone, and that's $17. That's just the tickets alone. Yet alone, the popcorn and the soda and I mean, you're gonna spend like $40, and that's just $40 to me. Wasn't well spent. It's not that scary, and that anybody that knows me, I like scary movies, but I like to watch them in the daytime. I have a phobia of watching them at night. I watch this one at night, but I was prepared to, put my hand in front of my face if something gruesome, really gruesome happened, but I never got the opportunity to do it because this movie was bad. Not bad meaning good, but bad meaning bad. Stay away from this movie. I would wait for this movie at Redbox, okay? If you really want to watch this movie is not that good. I'm sorry that this video was so long, but I had to explain so many other things about this movie. Guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy, I'm Christina Hendricks, and I am out of here.